Hello, welcome back to Butler Family Farm. On today's video, we have do a review of a beehive that Garvee sent me. That they would like me to do a review of it and give you guys a discount on top of it. So they sent me this beehive, and it's a multi-layer beehive. So we will talk about the different layers and stuff. And they sent me an extractor. And the honey extractor will be on another video because I'm not going to do any kind of extracting of honey for a few months. So there's no reason to open it up and get involved in that. So we're not going to touch that until later on. But in this beehive, we're going to open it up right now. You can tell it's well packaged. And in this beehive, there's 2 brood boxes, a bottom frame, a honey super, a top inner frame, inner top, as you call it, an extended outer top. It has a clean excluder. It has 30 frames in here and 30 foundations in here. So it's a complete kit. And I'm not even going to tell you the price. I want you to go and look the price up. And if you are interested in getting one, which is, it's an awesome deal, it's you get 10% off by using the code Butler, or not Butler, BUT10. So you can get 10% off of it. So you look it up off of Garvee, and I will have the link down below in the video, in the description. We'll have the link for you to click on to get the website and the 10%. This was shipped by FedEx, and the poor young man picked it up. It was pretty. It's pretty hefty, and these going here.
They even taped over the tape.
They taped over the strapping tapes. I know there's a few of you guys out there said they couldn't wait to see this video. I'm telling you, I've been doing bees now for my 3rd year now, and I've had some deals on hives and stuff, and jackets and all that stuff. But this is probably the best deal that I've seen on getting a hive.
A starter hive.
A starting hive. It has 2 brood boxes and a super in it, which is the starting kit I got originally only had 1 brood box, and I bought all the other stuff was on different sales and stuff. But anyways, you see it's packed in here really well. Okay, so it's at the corner piece off, and look, there's all the stuff stacked in there, and it have not styrofoam. That's like a foam rubber around it. So what we're gonna move this down here, and then take these things out so you can see the components. This is the beehive frames, and I'm gonna count them real quick to see if be sure there's 30 in here. Try to get them all together. These are the tops of the frames. 27 there must be. That's more someplace else. And here's the bottoms. All right. Well, then I'll go ahead and take this out. This is your bottom board. This is the front porch. Are you looking up here?
Oh, sorry.
The bottom board. And here's your front porch, and here's your door excluder, and you'll put it on I put mine on like this during the winter time. And then in the summertime, I take it off and open the whole thing up. But we're going to set this out here. Here is 2. Look at there. It's cedar wood, which I love cedar wood, and it's well coated with beeswax. Very well coated beeswax.
Those are the sides.
These are the front and back of 1 box.
Oh.
Okay, we got more frame parts in here. So I'm going to just lay it out and then we'll come back. All right, for you that have never had a beehive or you think about having beehives, you have what they call a brood box, which is your bottom box. Actually, a lot of people have two brood boxes, and they're the bigger, wider size, the bottom. So that's the size of the brood box, and there's two brood boxes in here. Each brood box has one brood box has a door, but you can be able to look inside. It comes out, and it'll have side. There's a piece of plexiglass will go on the inside of it, so you can close it off, and you can still be able to see how your bees are doing. And I'll show you that there. It has Garvee Hives name right here in faint. It's there. And here's the plexiglass. It has ventilation. You can see the holes in it. And that's for that big one, the big ones, and this is for the small ones. So you have the inspection things to be able to go into them, so you can be able to look at them. So
they go on this piece too.
They go on that piece also. That's for the honey supers. All right. Anyways, these have all the ends are all dovetailed together. So our dovetail, so it'll fit together in here. That's all. It's all dovetailed, so it all will go together the right way. And here's your two for the front and back of your honey supers, and then here is your foundations. There's 20 foundations for the brood frames or brood boxes, and you have 10 honey foundations right here. And they are single wax, and I will, because I've done this before, I will coat them again with some more honey wax, or beeswax I should say, because that helps the bees. They can start building comb faster when you put an extra coating of wax on here, because they actually draw that wax out, because wax it's in a hive comes from the actual bees. They extrude it from their body. So if they're not trying to extrude a whole lot of honey out and they get some right there, they can build a little faster. So that's what I will double wax all these before I put them in. Also comes with door pieces to put on your doors.
These little pieces.
And it goes on the doors, knobs, and there's things to lock them in. There's 3 packages here. What I did not see screws to put the boxes together. So I'm going to have to check this. So, anyways, over here we got a queen extruder, which is a plastic one. We have the inner top, and we have the extended outer top with aluminum top. So protection. All cedar, all waxed, all protected. And you can see all these pieces right here. Here's your sides of here's your sides of the frames, size for the brood frames, and then here are the honey frame size. You can see how much smaller they are. So I'm going to start putting these together so we can put it together and see how it looks like. All right, everybody. Here is a see-through door, and there's a coat of plastic on it. You want to be sure you remove this piece of plastic
before you attach it.
Before you attach it to your box, because if you don't, you're going to see opaque things. So I'm going to try to get this other side off here now. All right, it's a little hard to get going, but you have to go to the corner. I use the razor blade to nick the corner to get a hold of it. But you peel it off there, look, that's how clear it is. You'll be able to see the bees like there's nothing over there at all. So this goes on the inside, and you have to line it up so you have it. There's no pre-drilled holes, so you have to kind of line it up where you want the top of this at and the bottom, so it's basically the middle. And then you go ahead and drill the screws in. And I'll come back to you after we get that done. All right, I worked on the honey super first because it just happens to be the one I picked up. But here is the door, and you can see through the door here. You see my hand, and then you put your cover in here, and you pull these down here to keep the door shut. Now, you don't want to leave this open because bees do not like to be able to see inside their hive at night or during the daytime. They want to be dark in there because they do everything from their super eyes they've got. They've got multiple eyes, so you want to be sure you close it off and that there's there. But it's simple, easily. And you see that's how it sits. It goes together simple. It was pushed together, but I will, because I'm used to them, I will drill a hole and put a couple screws on each side here to reinforce it so it doesn't, it most likely won't fall apart, but if it gets dropped or knocked, it won't get out of square. So that's what I'll do. Now I'm going to go on to do the other boxes, and then I'll come back and, all right, yeah, guys, I've taken my frames, because I'm going to use my frames in the shop, because I'm not going to use the hammer, the screws or the nails they gave me. I'm going to use staples with my air gun. This is not my first rodeo, so I've done several frames before. It is my third year doing bees, and the way I feel is if you have a hive, you're helping save the world for food, because without bees, we have no food. Now, people won't say, oh yeah, we can do without it, but no, we can't. The bees pollinate everything, and that's what my thing was. I thought, you know, I went 50, 60 years not staying away from bees, afraid of bees, because I'm highly allergic to them. But my thing was that, you know, I can get EpiPen, and if I get stung, I'll use it. But I'm careful. I take my time. I'm cautious, and I always wear my suit, and I always have my smoker. So I'm going to go ahead and put these. We got one box together. I'm going to put the other two boxes together. I will show you how it goes with frames I already have made. But these frames I'll put together out in the shop, and I'll use my air gun, because to me it's a lot easier to put it together with the air gun. You know, these are cedar. I love cedar because it's resistant to weather. It holds up. It may change color a little bit, but the wax helps preserve them. If you guys are thinking about getting a beehive, I'm telling you, this is probably the best deal you got, because if you go on the internet and look up frames, you can get 10 frames, just the frames, for $34.95. Then if you go and buy the foundations, that's another $30
so they don't come together.
No, they don't come together. When you buy frames, you get foundations. You know, so because some people don't use foundations. They just let the bees build their wax things, but then they also have problems with, or they put wires in it and stuff. This is a new and upcoming thing. The newest thing is the foundations. Some of the old school people don't like foundations, but I think it's easier. I like it. But you know, like I said, I'm fairly new to this, and if you're thinking about getting bees, you know, check into your local bee clubs. There's bee clubs all over the place. Find yourself a mentor, somebody who can give you clues and hints and stuff. Don't believe when you read on Facebook, because I tell you what, I've read a bunch of stuff that I'm thinking, what the heck are they thinking? You know, and I'm new, so I get thinking, well, am I thinking wrong? So then I talk to my mentor, and he goes, no, you're absolutely correct. They were wrong. So yeah, I don't claim to be an expert, but I tell you what, I know more than the average Joe, and because I study things I decided to do on. But I'm going to go ahead and put these together, and we'll show you the end results. All right, folks, I got it together. You can see here, this is the first brood box with on the bottom. And if you look over here, you'll see I put the door in. All the door does is just goes in and sits right like that. Now this bottom has a 3/4 inch side, which I'm on, or it has a 3/8 inch side. So you can turn it over and use a 3/8 side, and then you would put this in front of the box. It would sit in front there, wouldn't sit down. The box would sit on top of it. Anyways.
Which way do you like? I
like both ways, and the other way is actually, and we'll do the other way out real quick. It makes a smaller entrance, so you don't have to worry about robbing on as much as you do when you have the big gap. See, this will not fit underneath there, so it just sits right in front like that.
Gotcha.
And that, you know, it all depends on how big the swarm is, or the bees you have. But here is frames that I had already done, and right here. And we're gonna go ahead and, well, I messed up already because I have this on upside down.
Or you had it sitting upside down.
I had it sitting upside down.
Oh, because you need the groove for the...
Yeah, the groove.
The groove,
the
right
groove
here.
goes up. I thought I had it that way, but I don't. Oops. There we go.
You're always squaring it up. You're always making sure the
yeah.
corners. I watch you and Josh. You're always making sure those are...
Yeah, this box is not quite square yet because of there's no screw fasteners, which I have to still do. All right. So, anyways, you'll start off with a a little bit. You start off with a brood box, and you'll have 10 frames of this in there.
Some brood boxes are 8 frames, right?
10 frames. These are 10 frame boxes.
I know, but there are some boxes.
There are beehives that use 8 frames.
Okay.
So this is a 10 frame
10
box.
frame.
You'll have 10 frames in here like this, and then you'll have what you do is you'll put your second one on top when you need it. You usually don't put this on until you're in your second year or third year, because it's a lot of space in there, and the bees, too much space for the bees. So if you get too much space for the bees, they get overwhelmed and they will actually swarm out and leave. So you leave it in on one box till your hive starts getting really good, and then you can add a second brood box, and then you'll have your queen excluder on top of here, because you don't want your queen in your honey.
That's that plastic.
That's a plastic thing. It'll go on top here. You want to keep your queen down in the brood area, because if she gets up in the honey places and she starts laying eggs, then you'll end up having a brood up there, and you won't be able to take your honey, extract your honey. So then you'll set this third box up, and I have multiple honey frames. So if I start getting a lot of honey, I have extra. I can get more room. And then these will go up on top of this, and this will fill this up, and then this will have your inner top will go on this, then your external top, which is extended top, hang on the outside of that, so that way the water drops off of the hive, not into the hive.
Okay, so these are the same as the black ones. They just fit
the smaller
box.
They fit. If you look here, see, they fit right
they
to
go
the
right
bottom
in the
here.
bottom, so that there's no spacing.
Right.
Okay.
So that's why you use those. And I'm going to tell everybody, all my people who watch this, who are know us and are excited about this. If you need help, any help, you can write to me, and I'll give you my phone number, and you can call me. I don't care. And you best to text me first before you call me. I'll help you where I can. And then if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. But I've learned a lot of stuff in the last 3 years. I probably learned more stuff than your average person knows, because I've really been kind of studying it. But like, I use Swifter pads as the corners here to help catch hive beetles. And then we also do a mite treatment for the Rona mites, and those are things you have to think about. You just can't have bees and just put them out there and just say, okay, fine, they're out there, because they're not going to last.
And that's why
That's why we're called beekeepers. We
right.
we manage the hives.
But that's why you highly encourage
a mentor.
Finding a bee club,
right, and a mentor,
or a mentor.
But anyways, this will sit like this. And you'll be able to, you'll see the doors, you'll be able to take these and open this up.
And there it is. They've got it. Garvee.
Yep.
Garvee.
Garvee Hives.
Well, this has like a G.
Yeah, it's a G and a B. That's what it is, but it's from Garvee. But it's Garvee Hives. So anyways, this is, there's you see the plastic cover.
That's very cool.
And then so the only thing about that is that you're not going to be able to see what is going on really in the hive. You'll have to still do inspections, because if you think about this is filled up to here, and you open this up, what do you think you're going to see? You're going to see the one frame. You're not going to see the ends of the frames or down the frames. You're just going to see the one frame, and that's the way these were designed. So that's the basic setup.
It's a really cool beginner kit.
Yes. Oh my God! I just started thinking.
Besides the tools,
thinking of money-wise.
There are a few hand tools, like you have that tool that pries the boxes apart.
Yeah, I mean, if you think money-wise, though, if you buy frames, they're $34. I think it was $17 for frames for 10 frames. $17 for $17.95 for 10 frames for the wooden frames. By both sizes, that may be $1 difference between the two of them. And then the foundations are $34 for a set of 10. So if you take the foundations in this guide, that's $70 plus this is $105 plus the 17 times 3 for frames is another $34, $51. So you're already into it alone that alone you into over $150. That's not counting the the bottom box, the boxes, the three boxes, the queen excluder, the two lids, the inner and the upper lids. So this is a dang good deal. Plus you get 10% off, and that 10% off counts on everything on their website. So if you see any on their website that you're interested, they have other stuff on there also. You get 10% off that stuff also.
BUT10.
BUT10 gives you 10% off. Now I will go back and I will put a few screws in here because I want it to stay squared up, and then I don't, I bump it or knock it. I don't want it to be out of square, but I will definitely reinforce it with a few screws.
And these are pretty heavy. And
Yeah,
if you only have the one box with the inner lid and the outer lid, it's still pretty heavy. But if you're in an area like we are, you could get some straight line winds that could knock it over.
Yep, very well.
So if you have a couple screws like he does in there, that'll just double reinforce.
Right. Plus, we also put a ratchet strap over them to hold them we put them on a block. People make frames, set them on frames, but you ratchet strap it to those blocks. That helps hold it over. I should knock on wood here. We have not had any problems with bears. There are a few bears in the area, very few. So I haven't had any bears come into my thing. We do have possums and skunks. They'd like to get into bees also.
Raccoons?
Well, raccoons will come in and try to get honey out of it. But being our hives are so close to home, we don't have raccoons because our dogs scare them away, and they don't like the dogs barking at them. So and then possums pretty much stay away also, except for every once in a while. And skunks, they just kind of pass through.
But if you start putting your hives out in other areas of the property, you're going to need to...
Yeah, you need to put a hot wire around them to keep the bears and the other animals away from them. So, I'm telling you guys, go check out the website, Garvee, and...
Is it garvee.com?
I'm not sure. I will have it I think it is Garvee. I'm not sure, though, and I don't want to get the wrong... address, so I will have it in the description, and I'll also put it up on the page. I'll have it near the end, near the beginning. You'll see
within the video.
The link in the video. You'll see the link.
Perfect.
So what else I got to talk about?
I think you got it covered.
I think so too. Be out there and keep bees. That's all I can tell you, and enjoy the honey.